So through the years, Usher have been sued up to 2 or 3 times, right? For knowingly passing on an STD, herpes. Now, out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and being ex-law enforcement, y'all, that's a felony if you knowingly have HIV and pass it on. But Usher supposedly has herpes. Now, there's like a big girl, big old black girl. And shout out to the BBWs out there, man. I love a thick woman. Shout out to the big girls. You can do your research. Man, he was sued by this woman. So apparently he paid her $1 million to shut up. You can catch the interview of her, of what she's saying. And a lot of y'all dudes out here creeping with these big girls on the down low. And all women are pretty, but y'all creeping with these big girls on the down low, but you don't want to be caught in public holding their hand. And Usher gave her that STD, and I ain't gonna say allegedly, because why would you pay somebody $1 million if they didn't? But here's the thing. Tameka Foster, his ex-wife, is saying that he wasn't just out there creeping with women. He was creeping with men as well. Now, it makes total sense, and I'm going to tell you why. You have to remember, these young men in the industry, and you're going to see a lot of content on this, these young men in the industry have not had their first sexual encounter. So when your first sexual encounter has been with a man and you're learning to love it, well, that's what you're going to always go back to. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is why a lot of these entertainers, these young dudes on the down low, because they've been groomed that way. A lot of them is not even their fault, because when you take somebody and this is their first intimate encounter, that's all they know. If you was with a man for 5 years for your first encounters, but that's all you're going to know until you be with a woman. And that's the case with Usher. But this is the thing about having exes, y'all. I don't know if she had an NDA. I don't know what it was and why she's just now coming out to speak about this. But let me show y'all some video, man. Hold up.
To look like the storm clouds over Usher's life are a whole lot darker than anybody imagined. The whispers floating through the industry right now aren't just messy, they're explosive. His ex-wife, Tameka Foster, has allegedly dropped a bombshell that makes every previous rumor about him look like child's play. According to what's making the rounds, Usher's sexual health history is far more complicated than we thought. We're not just talking about the herpes headlines we've all heard over the years. The new claims suggest there's a longer, uglier list of STDs that have followed him for decades. Now, I know plenty of folks have already heard those old tales about Usher's strange, tight-knit connection with Diddy back in the day.
His wife would know.
The kind of stories that make you pause mid-sip. But the latest gossip paints an even darker picture. Apparently, Usher was not only running the streets with women, but allegedly hooking up with multiple men. And some of those encounters, people are saying, go all the way back to when he was still a teenager living under Diddy's roof.
It makes sense.
If you rewind the tape,
like
the story begins when Usher was just a kid, not even a teen, yet when L.A. Reid spotted his talent and signed him. But fame came with its own set of cracks. When puberty hit, his voice began to change, and there was industry chatter about Reid letting him go. Instead of cutting him loose, Reid made a fateful decision. Sent him to stay with his friend, none other than Sean Diddy Combs. Usher was only 13 when he moved into Diddy's world, and from everything we've pieced together, it was anything but wholesome. This was the height of Diddy's wild party era, endless women, liquor, drugs, and whatever else a celebrity playground could conjure up. And while Usher rarely talks about that chapter of his life, he once let a little slip during a Howard Stern interview. His words were vague, but they hinted at scenes no 3-year-old should have witnessed. He described curious things going on, the kind of curious that raises every red flag you can think of.
The place was like just filled with chicks and like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried.
It says that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand.
The secrecy around that time was thick. Usher claimed his parents had no idea what he was really being exposed to because Diddy made it clear, don't talk, don't tell. And the few times Diddy himself spoke on it, like that now infamous clip where he casually mentioned them sleeping in the same bed, the internet lit up with questions that never really got answers.
They blush. They didn't know nothing about.
Oh.
I was having a good time. Really.
That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older. His older brother. We used to fight over the.
Even Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, has chimed in over the years, alleging that insiders knew Diddy's interests weren't limited to women and that he sometimes involved younger men in situations they never should have been in.
You think nobody else with you. You take that time, boy. I see you. Like, motherfucker, you in the kitchen eating all my cereal.
All these industry people know that Diddy been acting like this and doing this and trying to engage other men into acts with him. There was a story that he was trying to get Chris Brown. There's stories about, those young boys that he had, a group, B5 or something like that, trying to get them. Yo, it's a lot of stories that goes around in this industry.
One rumor in particular, that Usher contracted herpes during one of these so-called freak-off sessions at just 15, has been quietly circulating for years. Supposedly, Kim Porter even knew about it and was planning to put it in a tell-all book before she passed. But here's where things get even darker. If the latest gossip is true, Diddy wasn't the only one involved. The implication is that Usher may have been shared with other men during these parties. And with the alleged guest list of those freak-offs reading like a who's who of Hollywood power, it's not hard to imagine how he could have picked up more than just rumors. Over the years, multiple women have come forward, accusing Usher of knowingly exposing them to herpes without disclosure.
So what was in Kim's book? You want to hear it? Here it go. Now, I cannot confirm or deny what's in this book, but ain't nobody fit Natasha K. Me. So in this book, it detailed his relationships with men, footage of those encounters. It had the names of the men he slept with, a disease. Allegedly, Diddy giving Usher a disease.
Some lawsuits fizzled mysteriously, like the $20 million case from Laura Helm that she suddenly dropped with no explanation, prompting speculation of a quiet payout. Others, like Quantasia Sharpton's suit, went public and got messy fast. One Jane Doe even walked away with an alleged $1.1 million settlement, with Usher making sure it never made too many headlines. And yet, none of this seemed to slow him down. On stage, he leaned into the freaky persona, serenading fans and pulling steamy stunts mid-concert.
And he got them herpes, and y'all, you gonna send your woman to the concert. Yeah, okay. That's the thing, y'all. Not for nothing. I ain't trying to be in none of y'all personal business, especially y'all men. Why you gonna send your woman to a Chris Brown and Usher concert, man, and want them, putting cherries in their mouth and probably catching STDs? I'm here to tell y'all, some of y'all women, if knowing that these men have STDs, they favorite singer, y'all put in the comments, ladies, men too, if you think that your woman would actually sleep with their favorite singer if they had the opportunity, whether they had an STD or not, put that in the comments. I want y'all to comment on this video. Put in the comments if you believe, honestly, keep it real with yourself, that your woman, your side piece, your boo thing, whatever, would sleep with Usher if she had the chance. And that will give you a STD. Can you dig what I'm saying? But, man, I don't like to talk too long. So, man, if you like the content, because this is what I'm on, like, literally, because it's an epidemic going on here in the United States. And it's an epidemic going on in this whole, in the world and in the industry. And these are things we need to talk about. And all this down low stuff, man, y'all putting y'all stick where my stuff belongs. So I got something to say about it, man. Hey, your lifestyle is your lifestyle. I don't care about that, but tell that woman what you are. But, man, like and subscribe to the channel for the raw content. No intro, no outro, no none of that stuff. No editing. And, hey, man, make sure you share the video. And remember to be blessed. Don't get stressed. Make sure you never get finessed. And get plenty of rest. And wrap it up like Usher should have.